You're at a party. Someone says, "Hey, how's it going?" You mumble, "Good, you?" Then silence. Awkward. You check your phone. They walk away. We've all been there. Small talk feels forced. Maybe you overthink it. Maybe you don't know what to say. But small talk isn't just filling silence. It helps you make friends, build connections, and feel more comfortable. The good news? Anyone can get better at it. You don't need to be outgoing or have the perfect words. Just a few simple tricks and a little practice. In this video, we'll go over exactly how to do that. How to start conversations with confidence. How to keep them going. What to say when your mind goes blank. How to make small talk feel less awkward and more fun. And by the end, you'll have the tools to handle any social situation with ease. If you've ever struggled with small talk, leave a comment below. What's the hardest part for you? Is it knowing what to say, keeping the conversation going? I'd love to hear. And if this video helps, don't forget to hit that like button. A lot of people think small talk is pointless, just random words about the weather, weekend plans, or how bad traffic was. But that's not true. Small talk is how conversations start. It's the foundation for real connections. If you skip it, you miss out on opportunities. Think about when you meet someone new, a coworker, a classmate, a friend's friend, you won't jump straight into deep topics. You start light. That's how friendships begin. You test the waters, see if there's a connection, and build from there. Same thing with networking. People work with those they feel comfortable around. If you're good at small talk, you stand out. You're easier to talk to. You leave a better impression. That can lead to jobs, collaborations, and opportunities you didn't expect. Even relationships rely on small talk. It's how people bond. You don't meet someone and instantly talk about your deepest thoughts. You joke about your coffee addiction. You laugh about a shared experience. You exchange quick comments. That seems small, but create a sense of familiarity. And let's talk about first impressions. You walk into a room, meet someone new, and have about 10 seconds to make an impact. If you're stiff or silent, it feels awkward. But if you can start with a casual, friendly comment, the whole vibe changes. You seem open, confident, and easy to talk to. Avoiding small talk means missing out on friendships, on opportunities, on making everyday interactions feel smoother and more natural. The good news? You don't have to be naturally chatty to be good at it. Now, before we get into techniques, let's change how we think about small talk. A lot of people say they hate small talk. It feels fake, forced, or like a waste of time. But that's not true. Small talk isn't about saying things that don't matter. It's how conversations start. It's how connections happen. Think of it like a warm-up. You wouldn't start a workout by lifting the heaviest weight. You'd stretch first. Same with conversations. Small talk gets things moving. It makes people comfortable. It leads to deeper topics naturally. And small talk isn't just about words. It's about energy. A simple, "How's your day?" can be just a polite phrase. Or it can be the start of a real interaction, depending on how you say it. If you sound bored, the conversation dies. If you sound engaged, it keeps going. Ever had a casual chat that led to something unexpected? Maybe you talked to someone at an event, and later they helped you with a job or an opportunity. Maybe you made a comment in a group setting and it sparked a new friendship. These moments happen all the time. Small talk is what makes them possible. And here's the best part. You don't have to impress anyone. You don't need the perfect joke or an interesting story. It's not about being the most fascinating person in the room. It's about being approachable, making others feel at ease. Instead of seeing small talk as an obligation, see it as an opportunity. Every interaction is a chance to connect, learn something new, or just make your day a little more interesting. Let's get into the first key skill, starting a conversation. This is the hardest part. What do you say? How do you not sound awkward? The good news is, it's easier than you think. You don't need a perfect line, you just need a reason to talk. The easiest way? Use your surroundings. There's always something to comment on. The location, the event, the food, the weather, anything that feels natural. If you're at a coffee shop, you could say, "This place has great coffee. Have you been here before?" If you're at a work event, try, "These events can be overwhelming, right?" Simple, casual, easy. Another option is asking a basic question. It doesn't have to be deep. "How's your day going?" Works just fine. If you're in a group, "How do you all know each other?" is a great one. People like talking about themselves. Give them a chance, and they'll take it. Shared experiences are also great for starting conversations. If you're waiting in line, you could say, "Feels like this line is never ending." If it's a social event, you could mention, "It's always tricky knowing where to start at these things." It makes the other person feel like you're on the same page. But here's the secret. It's not about the words. It's about how you say them. If you mumble and avoid eye contact, even the best conversation starter won't work. But if you say something simple, with confidence and a smile, people will respond. Speaking of starting conversations, let's talk about breaking the ice. Starting a conversation is one thing. Making it feel natural is another. That's where breaking the ice comes in. The faster you make someone feel at ease, the easier the conversation flows. People respond better when they feel comfortable, and a good icebreaker does exactly that. One of the easiest ways is making a casual observation. It doesn't have to be anything special, just something about the situation you're both in. "This place is packed tonight. Looks like we picked the longest line. I think I've already had 3 cups of coffee today." Simple comments like this open the door for a response. It's effortless, no pressure. Another great trick, humor. It doesn't have to be anything big, just light and situational. If you're at a long checkout line, "Pretty sure I'll have a birthday by the time we reach the register." If you're at a social event, "I think I've already forgotten half the names I just heard." A small joke breaks tension. People like talking to those who make them smile. And then there's an underrated technique, compliments. Not the over-the-top kind, just small, natural ones. "That's a great jacket." "I like your coffee order." "Cool phone case." When done right, compliments make people feel good without feeling forced. And often, they lead to more conversation. If someone says, "Oh, thanks, I got it in Spain," you now have something to talk about. A real-life example, let's say you're at a work event. You turn to someone and say, "These networking things always feel like speed dating, right?" They laugh. You follow up with, "So, what brings you here?" Now you're in an actual conversation. Or maybe you're at a cafe and someone is struggling with the menu. You say, "Tough choices, huh? I've been staring at this for 5 minutes." It makes them smile, and just like that, you're talking. The best part is, you don't need to overthink it. Icebreakers aren't about being clever. They're about making the other person feel comfortable. When you do that, conversations happen naturally. Now, once the conversation has started, how do you keep it going? Ever had a conversation that just dies? You say something, they respond with one word, and suddenly it's awkward. You nod, sip your drink, check your phone. The moment is gone. The problem? The wrong kind of question. A lot of people ask questions that go nowhere. Did you have a good weekend? Do you like your job? These are fine, but they don't really get a conversation going. The trick is asking good questions. And good questions are usually open-ended instead of, "Did you have a good weekend?" Try, "What was the best part of your weekend?" Instead of, "Do you like your job?" Ask, "What's your favorite thing about what you do?" These kinds of questions invite stories. They make people think and share more. The best questions also depend on the setting. If you're at a work event, you could ask, "What got you into this field?" Or, "What's a project you've been excited about lately?" If it's a social event, try, "What's the most interesting thing that happened to you this week?" Or, "What's a fun fact about you that most people don't know?" In casual situations, something simple like, "What's a TV show you're obsessed with right now?" Bad questions shut things down. "Are you having fun?" is okay, but it usually gets a short answer. "What's been the highlight of the night for you?" gives more to work with. "Do you like this place?" is fine, but "What do you think of this place?" makes people share their opinions. It's not about asking deep or complicated questions. It's about asking things that invite a real response. But here's the thing. Asking questions isn't enough. You also have to listen. Listening is 50% of a great conversation. People focus so much on what to say, but the truth is, the best conversationalists aren't the best talkers. They're the best listeners. You can ask interesting questions, but if you're not really paying attention, the conversation will feel empty. Have you ever talked to someone who's clearly not listening? They nod, but their eyes wander. They respond, but it's obvious they're just waiting for their turn to speak. It's frustrating, right? It makes you not want to talk to them. Now think of a time someone truly listened to you. They reacted, asked follow-up questions, made you feel heard. It felt good, didn't it? So, how do you become that person? First, use small responses. Things like, "Oh, really? That's interesting," or even a simple "wow" show you're engaged. A well-timed "no way" or "tell me more about that" can keep the energy going. Eye contact is important too. You don't have to stare, but looking at the person while they talk shows you care. Then, there's a big one. Avoid interrupting. It's tempting, especially when you have something to add. But cutting people off breaks their train of thought. Instead, wait. Even a short pause before you respond makes it clear you're actually listening, not just waiting for your turn. Another trick? Follow-up questions. If someone says, "I just got back from a trip," don't just nod and move on. Ask, "Where did you go? What was the best part? Would you go again?" Follow-up questions show you're paying attention. They also keep the conversation flowing naturally. instead of feeling like a stiff Q&A session. Let's look at a quick example. Imagine you tell someone, "I went hiking last weekend." A bad listener responds, "Oh, cool. I love hiking too," and starts talking about themselves. A great listener asks, "Oh, nice. Where did you go? Was it challenging? Have you done that trail before?" One response shuts things down. The other keeps things going. Listening isn't just about words. Your body language plays a huge role too. Words matter, but body language speaks just as loudly. You could say all the right things, but if your body looks stiff or uninterested, the conversation won't feel right. People pick up on energy. If you seem closed off, they'll feel it. If you seem open and relaxed, they'll feel that too. The first thing to check is posture. Open posture makes you look approachable. It means facing the person, keeping your arms relaxed, and not crossing them over your chest. A closed-off posture, like turning away slightly or folding your arms, can make you seem uninterested, even if that's not how you feel. If you want to appear engaged, lean in slightly when someone talks. Not too much, just enough to show you're paying attention. Eye contact is another big one. Too little, and you seem distracted. Too much, and it feels intense. The sweet spot is balanced, natural eye contact. Try this. When the other person speaks, look at them. Then, every few seconds, glance away briefly before returning your gaze. This keeps it from feeling like a staring contest. And then, there's the easiest one, smiling. A natural smile makes you more approachable. It signals warmth and makes the other person feel comfortable. You don't have to force it. Just relax and let it happen when the moment feels right. Mirroring is another subtle trick. People connect more easily when they feel a sense of familiarity. If the person you're talking to is using hand gestures, nodding slightly or leaning in, you can subtly do the same. It makes the interaction feel more natural, but keep it subtle. If you copy someone too obviously, it gets weird. Hand gestures can also help. If you talk with your hands a little, it adds energy to the conversation. Just avoid anything too exaggerated. Small, natural movements work best. These small adjustments make a big difference. They make people feel at ease around you, which makes conversation smoother. The way you carry yourself shapes how others perceive you. Confident, relaxed body language invites better interactions. Okay? You're listening, engaging, and using body language. Silence feels awkward, but it doesn't have to be. You're in the middle of a conversation, and suddenly there's a pause. It stretches just a little too long. You feel the pressure to say something, anything. Your brain freezes. The other person shifts in their seat, glances around. Now it's even worse. First, don't panic. Awkward silences happen to everyone. The trick is knowing how to handle them. One way is to acknowledge the pause and reset. Just take a breath and start fresh. Something simple like, "I lost my train of thought for a second," or "Where were we?" works. It makes the moment feel natural instead of uncomfortable. Another great way is using humor. If the silence lingers, a light-hearted comment can bring things back to life. You don't need to be a comedian. Even something like, "Wow, we really ran out of words there." With a smile can break the tension. It signals confidence. It also helps the other person relax. Then, there's the go-to topic trick. Having a couple of safe topics in mind can save you from awkward pauses. It could be something relevant to the setting, like, "So, how do you know most people here? Or something general, like, have you seen any good movies lately? The key is to keep it open-ended. That way, the conversation naturally continues instead of shutting down with a simple yes or no. And sometimes, a little silence is okay. A short pause doesn't mean the conversation is failing. It gives both people a moment to process and think of something interesting to say next. The problem isn't the silence itself. It's how you react to it. So, next time there's a pause, don't stress. Use it as a chance to steer the conversation in a new direction. A good conversation feels effortless. But what makes it flow? Finding something you both connect on. That's the key. The easiest way to do this is by paying attention. Listen for clues in what the other person says. Maybe they mention a hobby, a place they've been, or something they enjoy. If it's something you relate to, great, that's your opening. If not, show curiosity. People love talking about what interests them. A simple, "That sounds cool. How did you get into that?" keeps things moving. Another trick is mirroring. This doesn't mean copying everything they do. It's about matching their tone and energy. If they're enthusiastic, lean into that. If they're more laid back, keep things easygoing. It helps people feel comfortable, like you're on the same wavelength. Then there's the classic approach, common topics. Things like music, movies, food, or travel usually work. Even something as simple as, "Tried any good restaurants lately?" can lead to a great conversation. And sometimes, a shared experience in the moment is enough. If you're at a party, you can say, "This playlist is solid. Do you know who made it?" If you're in a work setting, these meetings always feel twice as long, right? Anything that creates a small bond. One conversation can turn into something bigger. A casual chat at an event might lead to grabbing coffee another day. A shared laugh about something random could turn into an inside joke. Friendships often start with small moments like these. But every conversation eventually has to end, right? Ending a conversation can feel tricky. You don't want to seem rude, but you also don't want to get stuck talking forever. A smooth exit leaves a good impression and keeps the door open for future chats. One of the easiest ways is the graceful exit. A simple, "It was great chatting with you," does the job. Add a quick, "Enjoy the rest of your day," or "Have fun at the rest of the event," and you're good. Then there's the next step exit. If you'd like to continue the connection, suggest something. "Let's catch up again soon," or "I'll send you that recommendation." Makes it clear you want to stay in touch. If you're at a networking event, "I'll find you on LinkedIn" works too. Another option is the contextual exit. Checking the time, mentioning a task, or referencing another commitment is natural. "I should grab another drink before the next session starts," or "I need to check in with a friend." Feels effortless. Most people get the hint without it being awkward. And if you're worried about being too abrupt, a quick compliment can help. "It was really fun hearing about your trip. Hope you have a great weekend." Makes it feel like a positive wrap-up. If small talk makes you nervous, let's talk about overcoming anxiety. Feeling nervous in social situations is completely normal. Even people who seem confident now probably struggled at some point. The good news is that confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. The key is to start small. You don't have to walk into a party and work the whole room. Begin with tiny interactions. Say a quick, "Hey, how's it going?" to a coworker. Make a little comment to the cashier at the grocery store. These moments add up and help you get comfortable with casual conversations. Another trick is practicing in safe environments. If big social gatherings feel overwhelming, start somewhere low pressure. Chat with a neighbor, talk to a friend's friend. Even texting or voice messages can help you get used to social exchanges without the pressure of face-to-face interaction. Reframing nerves as excitement also helps. When you feel that rush of adrenaline before a conversation, remind yourself that it's just energy. Instead of thinking, "Oh no, I'm nervous," try, "This is just my body getting ready to connect." It's the same feeling athletes get before a game. Instead of fighting it, use it. There are so many stories of people who overcame social anxiety through small talk. Someone who used to dread conversations but started asking co-workers about their weekends. Someone who used to avoid parties but learned to start with one simple question. Bit by bit, those little interactions build into something bigger. And the more you practice, the easier it gets. When you see positive responses from people, it reinforces the idea that conversation isn't something to fear. It's just a skill like anything else. Another helpful trick is focusing on the other person instead of yourself. Anxiety often makes us self-conscious. We overthink every word, every movement. But if you shift your attention outward, you'll start to feel less pressure. Ask yourself, how can I make this person feel comfortable? Instead of, what if I say something weird? It also helps to have a few go-to topics in mind. If you ever freeze up, you can fall back on simple things like, have you been anywhere fun lately? Or, what's something you're looking forward to? These kinds of open-ended questions keep the focus off you and make conversations feel natural. And remember, no one is judging you as harshly as you think. Most people are too busy, worrying about themselves to overanalyze what you said. Even if you stumble or say something awkward, chances are they won't even notice. Over time, small talk stops feeling like a performance and starts feeling natural. The best way to overcome social anxiety isn't to wait until you feel confident. It's to start talking despite the nerves. Confidence comes after action, not before. Now, let's apply this to different situations. Small talk isn't just for parties or random encounters. It happens everywhere, at work, at social events, even online. And knowing how to adjust to different situations makes it easier. At work, small talk helps build relationships. It's not just about networking. It's about creating a comfortable atmosphere with the people you spend hours with every day. Quick chats in the break room, casual comments before a meeting, or even a simple, "How was your weekend?" can go a long way. The key is to keep it light and positive. Nobody wants to start their workday with complaints or negativity. If you're at a networking event, focus on easy openers like, "How do you know people here?" Or, "What's been keeping you busy lately?" Work conversations don't have to be all business. Social events bring a different dynamic. Whether it's a party, a wedding, or a casual get-together, group conversations can feel tricky. One easy way to join in is by reacting to what's being said. Laugh at a joke, nod in agreement, or ask a follow-up question. If the conversation shifts, roll with it. Don't stress about saying something profound. Most people are just looking for an enjoyable chat, not deep debates. Online conversations work a little differently. Whether it's social media, texting, or video calls, tone can be harder to read. In messages, emojis and exclamation marks can help make your words sound friendlier. In video calls, small talk at the start makes things feel more natural. Instead of jumping straight into business, ask how their day is going, or mention something light. Even online, small talk builds connections. One example of adapting small talk across different places is someone who starts with quick work chats. Over time, they get better at casual conversations with colleagues. That confidence carries over to social events, where they feel more relaxed in group settings. Eventually, even video calls feel easier because they've learned how to keep a conversation flowing. Small talk is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. No matter where the conversation happens, the basics stay the same. Stay present, ask simple questions, and focus on making the other person comfortable. Small talk isn't about impressing people. It's about making interactions smoother and more enjoyable. Let's level up your small talk with some advanced techniques. Once you're comfortable with small talk, the next step is making conversations more enjoyable. A big part of that is steering discussions toward topics you actually like. If a conversation feels dull, look for a connection. If someone mentions their weekend plans, you could say, "I love hiking too. Do you have a favorite spot?" Or, "That sounds fun. I've been meaning to try that." It keeps things natural while shifting towards something you enjoy. Humor is another great tool. You don't need to be a comedian, just light and situational. If it starts raining at an event, you could say, "Well, at least now we know who didn't check the weather app." Small, harmless jokes make conversations more engaging. The key is keeping it friendly and reading the room. What works with close friends might not land the same way with a coworker. Leaving a lasting impression is about how you end a conversation, not just how you start it. Instead of an abrupt bye, try something memorable. If you're at an event, you could say, "I really enjoyed talking with you. Hope we run into each other again." If it's a work chat, "Thanks for the great conversation. Let's catch up soon." A warm goodbye sticks with people. Think about someone you consider charismatic. Chances are they make conversations feel effortless. They listen, add humor at the right moments, and make others feel interesting. They don't just talk about themselves. They ask questions, react, and keep things flowing. If the topic slows down, they shift gears without making it awkward. It's not about having the perfect words, it's about making the other person comfortable and engaged. Like any skill, this gets easier with practice. But how do you actually improve at this? Getting better at small talk isn't about talent. It's about practice and consistency. Small daily efforts make a huge difference. You don't need to be the most outgoing person in the room. You just need to practice. Start with the one conversation per day rule. It doesn't have to be long or deep. A simple, "How's your day going?" to a barista, a short exchange with a neighbor, or a casual comment to a coworker. The goal is to make talking feel natural. Low-pressure situations are the best place to start. Talk to people who are already expecting conversation, like cashiers, receptionists, or service workers. Say something beyond the usual. Instead of just "Thanks," try "Busy day so far?" Or "That's a great color on you." No pressure, just small interactions. Tracking progress helps more than you think. You don't need a full journal, but take a moment to reflect after a conversation. What felt easy? What was awkward? Did a question spark more engagement? These little insights help refine your approach. Setting small goals makes a difference. Maybe today you focus on asking open-ended questions. Tomorrow you try adding a bit of humor. Next week, you push yourself to start a chat with a stranger. Specific goals create real progress. One trick that works well is mirroring. Subtly matching someone's tone or energy makes them feel more comfortable. If they're laid back, keep it casual. If they're enthusiastic, bring a little more energy. It builds connection fast. If nerves kick in, reframe them. That nervous energy? It's just excitement in disguise. Instead of thinking, I'm anxious, tell yourself, I'm energized. It changes how you show up. Also, accept that not every chat will be perfect. That's fine. Some people will be in a hurry. Others won't engage much. Don't take it personally. The goal isn't to impress every person you meet. It's to build comfort in conversations over time. A great way to keep practicing is to make a game out of it. Set a challenge. Can you make someone laugh today? Can you keep a conversation going for 3 minutes? Can you learn one interesting fact about someone? These little challenges make practicing fun. Small steps lead to big results. Social skills aren't something you're born with. They're something you build. Now, let's wrap up shortly everything I covered. Small talk isn't about saying the perfect thing. It's about connection. A little effort can turn everyday moments into meaningful interactions. We've covered a lot, from starting conversations to keeping them flowing, how to ask good questions, listen actively, and use body language, ways to handle awkward pauses, find common ground, and exit conversations smoothly, even overcoming social anxiety and practicing daily. The biggest takeaway? Anyone can improve. Being good at small talk isn't about being naturally outgoing. It's a skill, and like any skill, it gets better with practice. So, start small. Try one new technique today. Maybe ask an open-ended question instead of a yes or no one. Or focus on listening and responding instead of thinking about what to say next. Notice how little changes can make a big difference. If social anxiety holds you back, start in low-pressure situations. Chat with a cashier or ask a coworker about their weekend. The more you do it, the easier it gets. Confidence builds with practice. And there you have it. Mastering small talk and social conversations doesn't have to feel intimidating. The key is practice, patience, and staying open to progress. With the tips we've shared today, you're now equipped to speak more naturally, make genuine connections, and feel more at ease in social settings. Remember, growth takes time, so celebrate the small wins along the way. Every conversation you engage in, no matter how small, brings you one step closer to becoming more confident. Don't be afraid to take the first step. Start with a smile or ask a simple question. Even the greatest communicators began by practicing, learning, and allowing themselves to make mistakes. You can absolutely do this too. If you found value in today's video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend who might be working on their social skills too. Don't miss out on more tips and strategies like these, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way, we can keep growing and learning together. Keep practicing, stay curious, and, most importantly, enjoy the process. Becoming great at conversations isn't about being perfect. It's about connecting, growing, and making moments matter. You've got all it takes, so go out there and start those conversations with confidence. Thanks for spending your time with me, and I can't wait to see you back here soon. Until next time, take care and keep thriving.